We've included a lot of elements in each chapter in this book to help you engage with the material about interpersonal communication in a way that might be different from how you think about communication in your everyday life and in your everyday experiences. So one of the things that we'll ask you to do in each chapter is to pause and reflect on the content by posing kind of a reflective question for you to think about how you use interpersonal communication in each of the elements that Denise just talked about, listening or support or conflict, in your own interpersonal relationships and in the communication experiences that you have. And those are really a moment for you to think about how the content relates to you in your life and in your communication, which can bring new insights and help you to understand why you communicate the way that you do. We've also built into each chapter a lot of activities that you can engage in to really dig into the material a little bit more and see how interpersonal communication works. So one element that we have in each chapter are called the communication in action boxes. And in those boxes, we'll suggest an activity for you to do to think about the different material that we're teaching you about in each chapter. Some of those communication in action boxes will ask you to go to the companion website and download a form or something that you can fill out as you observe how people communicate with one another in interpersonal settings. Others will ask you to go out and do an activity that doesn't involve any paperwork. But those activities are a little bit more involved than just a momentary reflection on how the content relates to you personally. It's an opportunity for you to see how other people communicate and what interpersonal communication looks like in other people's relationships.
One of the things that's so cool about studying something like interpersonal communication is that it's happening all around you all the time. So these exercises are really about taking advantage of that environment and applying what you learn and testing what you're thinking and seeing how it works.
Mm-hmm. Another element that you'll see are the how do you rate boxes. These are in the margin of your textbook, and they'll also direct you to our companion website where you can fill out what we call a self-assessment or a survey to help you figure out what your own communication styles are, some aspects of your personality or yourself, your listening style, for example, how you respond to conflict or what type of support you prefer in your relationships. So when you see those margin boxes, I hope that we hope that you'll visit the companion website and fill those surveys out to learn a little bit more about yourself. And one of the things that's really important to Denise and I is research, and it's a big part of what we do in our careers, and it's a big part of interpersonal communication. We know that sometimes, because you do it every day, as Denise said, interpersonal communication seems like something you already know how to do, but it is something that we spend a lot of time researching and trying to understand better. And so within each chapter we have what's called an inside communication research box, where we introduce you to a specific study that one of our colleagues have done to understand interpersonal communication better. And we'll describe aspects of what they did in that study and specifically what they found, so that you'll get a feel for the type of research that people are doing within the field of interpersonal communication. That it's not just about common sense and having relationships, it's about understanding how those relationships are formed and what interpersonal communication looks like in a research setting. And to complement those boxes, we also have interviews on our companion website with a scholar in each chapter. So, for example, in your first chapter, there's an interview with Chuck Berger, who is one of the founding fathers of the field of interpersonal communication. And so you can go online and hear Denise interview Chuck about how he got into interpersonal communication, the kinds of research questions he's interested in, and learn a little bit more about who these individuals are as people who spend their lives trying to understand interpersonal communication better, so that we can develop the tips and the tools that we have in this textbook to help you become better interpersonal communicators.